Welcome back to the Culture and Cannabis podcast. I am one of your hosts, Full-Time Tony, here with my guy, JC Coates.
What's up, Full-Time Tony?
How we doing? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday,
Back
bro.
in the studio once again.
Look at your hair's on fleek.
Got a haircut.
It's looking super good,
Yeah,
man.
it wasn't my main haircut guy. It wasn't my main barber, but it's my I don't even like to call him a backup because he's really good too.
Yeah.
It's just my main dude that I go to always be getting booked up like so fast. And it was so funny because the guy sitting next to me was like, yeah, you should go to Jody, but he was just been booked up. And
right.
Jody's just gets booked up, bro. Jody's like a month out if you want to get in with him.
Hey, man.
He'd be doing the craziest stuff. So
in Vegas, you got to stay fresh and clean. You know what I'm saying?
Every 2 weeks.
You know, people out here are doing it. I mean, I do it myself at home.
I can tell.
I do it all at home. You know, this is about one day. You know, one day fresh out the barbershop, which is my bathroom. My bathroom at home.
Lit.
But dude,
we got a guest today.
We do have a guest today, but I have a question.
Oh, sure.
I have a question for the Full-Time Tony.
Okay.
So listen, man. You know, a lot's been going on. You know, and you know, I've been calling you. You know what I mean? For like life raft moments, right? All through the week, right? It's like. You know, and I
think I yelled at you at some point this week. It wasn't yelling, but I think I was just like, I don't care. Like this is what the deal is.
and you know, listen, there's so many variables of what's going on and what we're doing. You know, and sometimes I'll get stuck and I ask you a question. You know what I mean? What's the craziest question? You know what I mean? The phone rings, JC Coates on the fucking line, right? And I'm stuck. What's the craziest situation I've ever called you with?
There's one crazy situation that I'm gonna save that I'll wait until I'll wait a little bit. Craziest situation. Craziest situation is the one time you told me that you had this like awesome packaging in, and then we go to the meeting and the guy was like, wait, are we talking about the same thing here? Oh. And I was like, that doesn't seem like it. And then we had to leave the meeting.
Yeah, that did happen.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. You know, apparently this guy had the lock on all the marijuana jars in the world at the lowest price. And if you're growing weed and you needed jars, he had the jars for your weed, and it was at the lowest price. But we didn't. You know, it is what it is. It happens. You know, it's crazy out here, man.
I think the nightclubs mess with your hearing for all the years.
The DJing part definitely did mess with my hearing a lot. But yeah, man, you know, it's crazy, dude. Like so much shit is going on. Oklahoma, Vegas, Nevada. We're selling weed in a lot of different places, and we're getting some paperwork done in California. So it looks like we got about a 6-month runway. So we're probably gonna get it done.
6 months.
Dude, I'm putting stamps on it. So like you might want to clip this and run this back, but it looks like about 6 months we will officially.
I think 6 months ago we said we'd be in California. But it's okay.
But yeah, it's it's
a process.
It is a process, you know, and it's the cannabis industry. But it looks like we'll be out there. But you know. I can't do this without the Full-Time Tony.
Thank you.
Life raft thing, man. Yeah. So I appreciate all the answers, all the late night phone calls.
I just pretend that I know what I'm doing, so that makes it a little bit easier.
And that's all I need. You know what I mean? Just a little
fake self-confidence.
Just like, okay, this is gonna work. We're gonna get this done. All right. Listen, we got an amazing guest in the building. We had a cancellation also. She was on the calendar just for everyone who might have thought that Shannon Dorn was going to be in the building. We're going to get her rescheduled. One of the most amazing cannabis photographers in Nevada. We'll get her back on schedule. Oddly enough, we have another crazy guest, right? Like, I mean, you know. Dude, you never know who I'm gonna call, bro, and get on the show.
It's always a surprise.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out at the Las Vegas Cannabis Awards, running into a bunch of people out there. Shout out Sheldon, dope event. But listen,
shout out,
yeah, right? Shout out.
We didn't win no awards, but that's okay.
We didn't win any awards, and it felt good not to win awards. It looked great on everyone else. You know what I mean? Shout out to people.
I was happy that everyone that won.
Yeah, me too.
Very proud of everyone that won.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people, this fucking shit ain't easy. This shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? So
Shouts
like,
out.
you know, a little bit of recognition is good for everybody. Listen, ran into my boy, Da Vinci, aka Born Divine, the God. What's good in the building, man?
Peace, my brother.
What's
Peace.
good? Thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Tell everybody who you are and what you got going on.
Yo, Born Divine, aka Da Vinci, official Wu-Tang Killer B out of Baltimore City. Moved to Vegas 5 going on 6 years ago, but I've been back and forth between Vegas and Maryland for years. Fell in love with the city, man. So I came back out here because number one, this is the entertainment capital of the world. If you're gonna be a part of the entertainment business, this is definitely the place to be. And then also they didn't legalize cannabis, so you know I'm gonna be in the building doing what it is we do best under the Wu-Tang banner. We blow that good grass. So, man, I do a lot, man. I started out in the game as Capadonna's hype man. Then I became his business partner. Then I got signed to Protect Your Neck Records. Then became the vice president of Protect Your Neck Records. So I have IndieBoom.com, which originally started in Vegas, which is my company, my own digital distribution and platform for independent artists. So that's the basis of what I do is distribute, market, promote independent artists that's trying to come up, you know, and show them how to get paid as an independent and have full control over their career and their art.
That's dope. That's dope. So, I mean, because like hip hop now, right? Like the whole landscape of music is different than it is now. It's always been about distribution, right? But the distribution channels completely have changed over the last like 10, 15 years, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about, just really quick, sum it up for us, what the old model distribution is and like what it looks like now.
Well, the old model is based off of you getting signed to a label, so to speak, and then they take the lion's paw share of what comes back from the music sales. Now, the industry has changed over to strict streaming. Streaming covers everything. It's a digital market. It's an open market. You know, anybody could get distribution, but then they have to learn how to make it work in the digital world. You know, so now you can make the majority of your money, but you got to have a following. You got to build up your fan base, and you got to be active. You got to network properly in order to really make some real good money. But if you notice, there are artists that know what they're doing as far as marketing and branding and bringing up a good following, and they're able to make tons of money and never get signed to a major label. You know, and most of the major labels are doing 360 deals. So what I try to do is I try to reverse the 360 deal and make the artist make the lion paw share, and we make, you know, a lesser percentage. And that way, if the artist knows how to market, they're gonna make tons of money. If they don't know how to market, then we have a process to show them how to market effectively and build up an organic fan base.
What's a 360 deal?
Well, the 360 deal is like, we're going to give you all of this money up front, but all the money on the back end belongs to us 360 degrees. So if you get endorsements, if you get licensing deals or anything outside of that record deal, they get a piece of everything.
And so your model kind of breaks that chain because you're allowing them to keep as much as they bring in. But
Absolutely.
it's on them to have the marketing and the following to be successful. That's cool, man.
Absolutely. You know, I want to give every artist the opportunities that I didn't have, you know, but I was in a good position because Capadonna, one thing he never did was he never blocked any type of financial growth and development that we was on. That's why we became business partners. We started the Better Life Movement LLC and became partners 50-50. So everything that we did, as a matter of fact, every deal that I've had since I've been in the business, and I've been in the business 17 years, has always been either 50-50 or I get the lion's paw share.
That's awesome. So what does that look like to like bring an artist on board? Like how do you approach that?
Well, the first thing is I examine what their music sounds like because it has to be marketable. You know, and if I like it and I think there's a market for it, then we go ahead and we sit down and we negotiate how we're going to do it. We're going to do a 50-50, 60-40 your way, 70-30 your way, 80-20 your way. And then it's all about how much they're willing to invest in themselves. Do you have marketing? You don't have marketing? What's your online presence? What's your fan base presence? How many live shows you do a month? And the reason why I do the live show piece is because what underground artists don't realize is that how many times you perform a month is the equivalent of radio spins. Mm-hmm. You know, the more people you get in front of a month is like how many times they play Neo on the radio. Mm-hmm. You know, if they spin Neo 100 times a day, you need to be performing 10 times a month.
Got it.
You know?
Because it's like impressions, right?
Absolutely.
It's the same thing, right?
All about impressions. And you got a network. Your network is your net worth.
So let's talk about the deal, right? And it's all about the deal, right? And I have a couple questions. First of all, I always see young musicians, because I used to DJ, so I've been around it a little bit. But like you see a lot of these guys, they get wrapped up in like, oh, I'm gonna get the deal. And it's always kind of like an empty road. You know what I'm saying? Because it is an old model, right? There's no, like, you get discovered because you have a good voice and you get signed and somebody does the rest. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. You got to put it in, right? So let's say that, I'm one of these new school these new school cats, right? And I don't believe in that, right? But so I got my little camera guy, right? I got my place where I get my beats, right? And, I even produce my own shows, and, I produced like 3 or 4 albums. I got a local following, but I'm kind of like capped out, and I come to you with all that stuff. Where can you help me from there?
Where I can help you is, first and foremost, is show you how many different streams of income you're missing, as far as your mechanicals, your digital mechanicals, your PRO, like BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, Harry Fox. Make sure all your accounts are set up right. Make sure that you're established with SoundScan, BDS, Mediabase, and you're registered with them with your music, because there's about 11 different streams of income that even a local artist misses 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. And then from that, the best thing that I could show you is how to properly manage your money. Mm. See, that one of the biggest things that artists mess up is they make money and they spend more money than what they make. Trying to be flashy, trying to keep up with the Joneses and all of that type of stuff, that's out. You have to budget your money properly. Mm-hmm. You put 20% away, you take 80% and reinvest. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's less than that depending on how much money you bring back. Then there's merchandising, showing you how to merchandise your brand and take that and turn it into another stream of revenue. Mm-hmm. And with those components and learning how to manage your money and then investing your money to make your money work for you, these are all the basis of growing a career. You got to treat your career like any other business. And you got to know that an investor doesn't invest in a house that doesn't have any equity. It doesn't invest in a business that's not going to be profitable. And you have to carry your business, and before anybody comes and invests in you, you got to be doing it proper yourself. Once you do that, then you'll be off to a better start than in growing past being just a local artist. Mm-hmm. Because with that following, when you concentrate on that following and managing your money, then you can expand into the next state and then to the next state and duplicate the model, and then that model will feed you, and it will take you a long way.
So then are you like helping artists like transition from being like a local talent into like a mid-range talent or like a higher end talent? Absolutely. And then are you then like, because okay, so I listened to a lot of Breakfast Club, and I just was listening to a clip the other day with the guy who helped like discover Nicki Minaj, and he was talking about how he did a deal with Young Money to like sell her like I guess like her contract to them or something of that nature. So are you doing that as well? Like, how does that work?
I don't necessarily do that part, like negotiate, but I do groom an artist to be able to make a certain amount of money a year, and then I show them how to get an independent artist acquisition through companies that like Sound Royalties. Sound Royalties is a company that if you're making a certain amount of money, whether it's distribution or publishing, a certain amount of money per year, then you can get an independent advance towards your next project.
Got it.
A lot of artists don't even know that. You know, they don't. I get independent advances. I don't have to go to a major label. I'll get that advance and I'll reinvest it into my company, and then I'll keep it moving. And then some, and in some instances, I can show artists how to leverage their digital assets and get a whole different kind of acquisition where they can leverage a percentage of their catalog.
Oh, and then to fund their upcoming project.
Absolutely. Now, what I've been able to do in my career is, in 1 year, I had 3 advances. And then with all 3 of those advances, I took 50% of the money and invested into starting new businesses. And then those businesses begin to grow and make additional money that I reinvest into the music.
Damn. And then do you have to pay back those advances? How's that work?
Absolutely. But see, they advance you based off of what you're already going to make.
Got it. Oh, because they're already projecting, like,
Exactly.
you put out an album, you're almost guaranteed to make, do X amount of streams, which makes X amount of money.
Right. In the next 3 years, based off of the algorithms and how your music is selling, you'll make $20,000. So we'll advance you $10,000.
Smart. And then they get their money on the back end, essentially.
Absolutely.
For when you drop that album or that song or whatever it may be.
No, they're still getting it from the old project that they advanced you on. They get it on the back end of that.
Got it, because because it's called an independent. What's it called? Acquisition, and then so like you said, sound royalties. Because then they go on and then they distribute the music.
No, you're still distributing.
Oh, okay.
You maintain ownership.
Oh, you maintain ownership.
Then
they just get the money back essentially?
Yeah, they get their money back over a time frame. Of course, with interest, because it's just like getting a loan from a bank, and it's just like getting advanced by a major label. It's the same. Same process. The only difference is when you put money out. If you take that advance and invest it into the next project, you don't necessarily have to distribute that project under the same distribution. If you have a non-exclusive, you can go to a different distributor, put the new project out, and build a whole nother stream of revenue. It's so many different ways to do this that independent artists don't know.
Got it, and that's where you come in.
Absolutely.
And so, like, is there, other than obviously the benefit of being, like, owning your own stuff, is there benefits to going with a major label, though, sometimes?
Of course. You get a machine behind you. You become famous. You're in front of the public more. But that's where you got to determine your why. Why do I do it? Why am I in it? Am I in it to just be famous and get all of the clout? Or am I in it because I love making music and I want to make a living doing what I love?
And that's crazy. That's super interesting. Our partner Chuck does works with some underground rappers like very closely, and he tells me sometimes how it works, but like the way you're explaining it makes it so much simpler because it seems like an outsider looking at it seems so confusing, which
it's so confusing,
which it is confusing, right? Yeah. Because like and big labels want it to be confusing so that they go, oh, we'll make it easy for you, and you go, no, that's not how it's working. Well, you can make it easy for yourself. You just got to know the steps to success.
Right. I always encourage the artists that I work with to learn business and business management. Whether you got to take a class or read a whole bunch of books, learn it. When I first started, I read books like Guide to Releasing Your Own Independent Records, All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald S. Passman, home recording studio books. I've read tons of books. And then I took a course in economics and international business. And then I started to create independent acquisitions, everything from a clothing brand in Canada where I secured 3 deals in 1 year. One for Protect Your Neck Records, one for myself, and one for Capadonna. And that was the first time I ever did a clothing acquisition.
That's cool.
So these things are just, business opportunities that you create. And I created that opportunity off of seeing one product that they had, turned it over, took a picture of the company name, called and sent the company emails. They blew me off. I followed up anyway, and I continued to follow up until I got to speak to the person in charge.
That's crazy. And I feel like a lot of people, that's like, you just said something that's so important. Following up. Like, the follow up on almost anything is super important. Like, whether it is for sales or for a deal or maybe a feature or whatever it may be, if you don't continue to follow up, people are just going to forget about you, bro.
Absolutely. I've been following up with JC for like 3 years. And I'm here.
We got it done, didn't we?
And you know what's so funny is I saw these papers maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I remember seeing them too. Now I have seen,
But you have some,
right?
and I remember JC having some at his house, and I'll be like, "Where the fuck did you get these Wu-Tang papers at?"
Yeah,
And
I
it's
don't
you.
remember where I did. Maybe.
And
gave
you,
them to your-
Maybe you did give me a pack.
Yeah,
of them.
Culture and Cannabis.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
How,
Yeah,
and so
okay.
tell us about this. How did you go from the music industry into the cannabis industry with Wu-Tang?
Well, RZA started a company called P2 Branding, and it's him, John Mook Gibbons, who is also one of my mentors. He's the CEO of Wu-Tang Management. You know, the first manager who managed the whole entire clan. And when I saw that they started the Wu-Tang smoke products, I started buying them wholesale at the price that they was giving them to us at the time was so low. I said, man, let me get 100 boxes.
Right.
And we were doing the re-up in California, the re-up festival, and I would have, you know, they're selling pounds of marijuana and things like that, and I'm out there with the rolling papers.
Sling
You buy some weed, want to smoke it? Here you go. Come on.
You sell a bunch of
You know, oh man, I sold like 300 pack boxes of papers, and then we grew the brand. It grew, you know. So then we got the smoker sets that come with the tray, the
That's
grinder, you know, the jar for you eat, and then we got the papers with the tips and without the tips. So these are the ones with the
these are
tips.
the
Yeah, those are the ones that you had at your house.
These are the ones I have.
Yeah. Those are nice.
Yeah, I remember these gave me to these at the one of the old ones, right? At Rebar,
Yeah,
right?
yup.
In the back alley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember now. See, it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah. So once they saw that I was selling a lot of boxes out here in Vegas, they were like, "You're our brand ambassador for the West Coast." Let's say for the whole West Coast. Well, mainly Vegas, but you know, if you want to travel with it, go ahead. So that's my goal, is to establish a team in Oregon, a team in Arizona, a team in California, and just spread the news. And these are 100% organic hemp rolling papers. Hopefully I can get, you know, the multitudes to go ahead and start supporting the brand. And the smoker sets they're a hot commodity. I can't even keep these in stock at all. So
What are those retail for?
right now, for the low price of $49.99, you
Really?
can get one of these.
And from you directly, you can buy through a website? How's that work?
You can buy it directly from me.
Very cool.
And okay, so let's talk about the Wu-Tang Clan and where they're at today. Like, just kind of school, get me up to.
Well, right now, I know Meth has a film and animation company or production company that he just started, Method Man, and him and Redman are actually doing a production for the How High 3 with him and Redman. So that's going to be huge. We also have the Wu-Tang series, Wu-Tang and American Saga, coming back for season 2 on Hulu. So that's huge. GZA, Ghostface, and Raekwon the Chef, I believe it is, or Inspector Deck. No, it's GZA, Ghostface, and Ray are getting ready to tour the country. So they're coming back with a tour, which I'm sure Capadonna will be on that tour. And RZA, he's doing movies, you know, more movies on the way. It's just so much going on with the clan right now. As a matter of fact, we're doing Wu Wednesday launch out here for the Champs Convention. So be on the lookout for that advertisement. On the 24th, I will be doing a show out here as well. And then we have our radio network, Wu World Radio, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. PST. I'm on there. My show is Voice of the Streets radio show. We're on 5 days a week. We do Chuck D from Public Enemies, Rap Station 365 every Tuesday, Woo World Radio on Wednesday. On Thursday, we're on Media Made Radio. Friday, radiosuper.com. And on Saturdays, we're on Roku, Universe TV Channel 72 as well, every Saturday, 6 p.m. PST. So we're all just working, coming off of the pandemic. I know a lot of people were hurt by the pandemic. We definitely took a lot of hard hits during the pandemic. So we're just grateful to be survivors of that. And a lot of us lost family members. Okay. So we're all kind of still regrouping from the economic loss of our tours being shut down. And a lot of us lost very close family members. Capadonna lost his mother. DJ Law Mathematics lost his mother. John Mook lost his mother. Frank Nitty lost his mother, and I lost my mother. So 5 moms, R.I.P. to all of them, and condolences to all my brothers. It's just been rough, man. This has been the roughest 2 years I've ever seen in my life, and that's what we're all doing. We're all recuperating, recovering, and we're looking for to regroup from the economic losses that we took. Yeah,
man, it's tough, man. It's tough. Nobody said it was going to be easy, though.
Right.
But nobody did see this one coming. You know what I mean? And condolences to your mom, man.
I appreciate it.
Well, there was another cat. Was it Supra? Is that his name? Supreme. Yeah. So where does he fit in with the Wu-Tang Clan and all that?
Well, back in the 90s, Supreme started rolling with the Clan, doing promo as far as the West Coast Killer Bees. He went to New York and he had actually lived in Brooklyn for a little while, right around the neighborhood where Prodigal Son and Killer Priest resided. And then he came back to the West Coast, fell into some legal issues, and was off the scene for about 13 years or something. And then came back on the scene, came back strong,
Yeah, and now he's in Vegas, right?
Right, now he lives in Vegas. As a matter of fact, when I was living in Vegas one time before, when he had just moved out here. I think it might have been 2006 or somewhere around there. Because I've been in and out of Vegas for years, man. Like over 20 years, I've been in and out of Vegas. And I kept saying that, like, when I really finally get tired of the East Coast, I'm going and plant my feet in Vegas. And I meant it.
That's good, man. It's a good place for hustlers, man. Well, thanks for coming by, dude. I appreciate you, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all too, man. Real talk. I really enjoy culture and cannabis. I enjoy what you were doing with the events. Heavy, man. That was lit. Like every situation was lit, And I just want to give a major shout out to all of my comrades, Wu-Tang Killer Bees. Shout out to my sponsors and all of that. Divine Leaf Cigars, you know what I'm saying? And Novelty Cigar Experience Novelty, Miss Novelty. And shout out to my partner in rhyme and crime, Euthanasia, the Asian Persuasion. You'll hear it on the radio station tonight on Media Made Radio. And shout out to culture and cannabis, man. Keep smoking.
Where can they find the stuff at? Where can they buy the stuff from?
Well, you can follow me at Born Divine the God. That's BORNDIVINETHEGOD on Instagram, and you could just inbox me if you want to go ahead and look into ordering rolling papers, order smoker sets. Hit me up, and I'll get you started. No problem.
Dope, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Man, you never know who's going to come on the show, bro. You never know.
Bangers. We only have bangers on the show.
Just
straight hitters.
Straight hitters. It's...
What's today?
What is today? Today's Thursday.
The 15th.
The 15th.
Well, it's, obviously it's...
Yeah, it's 15th. Listen, we are going to do another event on First Friday. It's going to be about 2 weeks away. We're gonna have some special performers.
Another lineup.
Another crazy lineup.
Food trucks.
There'll be food trucks.
Tacos.
There'll be glass blowing. There'll
lots of brands. Full brands.
Lots of brands. We'll have some models. Maybe more models than last time. I mean, I think it's a good idea.
I'm always down for more models.
Shout out to Omni Models.
Shout out.
It's going to be sick. Listen, we're going to have some performers, though. Some performers that we didn't have last time.
Oh, different performers.
Different performers. And I think everyone's going to be quite surprised.
Are we going to do live art?
Possibly.
Okay. What about the Hustler?
Dude, the Hustler it's dropping. It's official. The first order, it could be in a delivery truck today going to our exclusive retail partner.
Let's hope.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that it is. Pretty sure. I texted our manufacturer today. He said it's all good.
Yeah,
so listen, the first order is going to be dropped. I think next week when we're on the podcast, we'll do kind of a small spot and we'll announce who that partner is. We'll probably talk to him about them over the next few weeks.
Yes. Yes.
About the Hustler that's going to be available over there. And
where at? Are you saying it yet? Or
I mean, yeah, it's going to be at Green Dispensary, man. Green Dispensary, exclusively.
For the next what?
For the next 2 weeks, from the 15th. I think they're going to go on sale on Saturday. So
from Saturday to the end of the month.
From Saturday to the end
You
of the
can
month.
only get our gold pre-rolls over at Green Dispensary.
Green Dispensary. And if you haven't seen the official Hustler launch video, go to my fucking Instagram.
He got to 100 comments. It got dropped.
And watch it.
I think it was like 108 he got. So that's pretty legit.
Maybe.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
I'm going to Reno too. Me and Chuck will be.
gonna-
I go to Reno tomorrow. Chuck will meet me there on Monday.
You gonna sell some weed up there?
Sell
or-
lots of weed. We're trying to get a pop-up rocking and rolling. So if you stay tuned for that, probably get a little meetup happening that night. Also, I'm helping throw in a comedy show. The Joe
Nice.
Joe Comedy, stand-up comedian. He has a bunch of friends coming out. It's gonna be a good time. That's over at the Polo Lounge on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Doors open.
Do you have any dates set up? Like romantic dates set up?
No romantic dates set up.
No. Okay. All right.
Big Tony.
Just work, man.
work,
Just
you
work.
know.
All right, I like it.
Just chilling. But yeah, that's it. That's the podcast. Anything else for you?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, we'll see. Well, you won't see me next Thursday, but you'll see this guy next Thursday, and we'll talk to you guys then. Peace.